Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to finally sit down and film how much money, expenses, and profit did I make doing vendor pop-up markets for the month of February. I'm hopefully going to be doing this every single month so that you guys can see my journey with starting a small business, creating like kind of a creative business, and going out and actually selling it. Then one day, maybe hopefully I'll show you guys how I find all of my pop-up markets, because I am going to be taking this on the road to Arizona, to Colorado, to Florida. I'm going to be traveling around and hopefully get an RV and do the same thing and try to show people how to make money while traveling. Van life edition. So that would be fun, but that's in the distant future. I will be traveling for these markets, just not in a van. Like, I'll be doing that later. But right now I want to see how much money I can make per month, and is it possible to live that life and sustain that type of life on the road and still be happy. So here is my numbers for the month of February. February 3rd through the 5th was my first show of the year. After Christmas, January and February, most people take off from doing shows because they are pretty slow, which I think next year I'll probably do the same. I probably won't do something so early in February, but by the second week of February, I'll start going up on it. I will no longer be doing this show either, because you will see that the booth fee was astronomical. So I did an RV trade show. So it was like an expo at an expo center. It was out in Richmond, which is an hour away from me. And I went in and set up on February 2nd. It took me an hour, and then I came back home. And then February 3rd, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday were the show days. Fridays are always slow because people are at work still. You're going to be seeing a lot more retirees come in to come shop, and most retirees come to look, not to buy. So for that day, I only made $366, which is to be expected. Usually, even during like December markets, Thursdays and Fridays, I make about $300, which I'm fine with. You know, you get an extra day of selling, an extra day of just, you know, sitting around and getting your name out there. That's to be expected on those type of days. Saturdays are when you are really pepping up because a lot of people are coming in, families are coming in, kids are coming in, and they are looking to buy. However, they were looking to look for RVs and not to buy handmade goods or things that go with RVs. So I went to the show to try it out to see if I was going to make money, because I make travel themed, nature themed journals, and I'm starting to make purses as well. And I felt like it fit the theme, but people weren't expecting to see that there, so I only made $600 that day. Usually on Saturdays, you can maybe bet that you'll make $600 to $1,000, and if you up your prices, maybe $1,200 in one day. So once I saw that Saturday wasn't good, I knew that I wasn't going to be going back to the event. You have to understand, you guys, that it is risk it for the biscuit. Is you need to see where you fit in, and I wanted to see if I could fit into RV shows, because those are everywhere in the United States. They're even in Canada, and I wanted, like, if I do good here, then I can do good in Canada. So I have X-nayed this off of my, you know, list of things or shows to sell at. Sunday, you kind of think that you're going to make almost as much as a Saturday, but usually a little bit less. On that day, I only ended up making $461. So this is just the gross profit of what I made, $1,427, which sounds really good for 3 days of work. I know you guys were like, that's really good for 3 days of work. However, I was there for almost 12 hours a day, sitting around doing nothing really. I couldn't even work on my stuff. And the booth fee was $750. A lot of money. Now, I am going to be paying that booth fee again for a different event, for a handmade event, nearer to summer. I'm thinking it's either in May, I think, that I'm going to be paying that booth fee again in the same center. But this is more of a handmade item place, so if I do well there, I would be willing to spend that much money for a booth. I know just starting out that is a lot of money for a booth fee, but I'm trying to see where I can fit in, because certain shows I will go back to or I won't go back to, and I'll just do a cheaper show in the meantime. So I'm willing to understand my customers and my business and see where I do fit in, which is why I did this one. In all, for my expenses, $255. I'm looking at another one. That was $255 for my expenses on journals and jewelry. The booth fee was $750. So my total expenses for that 3-day show was $1,005. I emailed the show and told them they wanted me to come back, and they actually said that they would lower the booth fee, but I didn't think it was worth the time traveling there and how long I was there. Almost like 12 hours a day. Like, it just wasn't worth it. 12 hours? I should be making at least $1,000 a day for that. So I only netted $422 at my first show in February. Mind you, Februaries are pretty slow because most people are still tapped out from Christmas. It's still cold. People aren't really expecting to spend money. Also, it was a show that wasn't geared towards handmade items. So you learn, you live and you learn. I won't go back to that event. Then I had a last minute entry show into Yorktown, which is about 12 minutes away from me. That was February 11th. This was a really good show, you guys. So, and I film all of this on my TikTok. I film all of this on my Instagram. So if you guys want to like follow that journey before I do this full journey here, I'll put my tags up here. So for February 11th, the booth fee was only $30. I wasn't expecting to make a lot of money, but Yorktown is an area where people make a lot of money. It's literally houses on the beach. The journals cost me $85. The leather ones, my handmade leather ones, the materials, so how many journals I can make out of one thing of leather, divide that by how much it costs. It was $18. My sketchbooks were $35. My wood journals were $10. This is not how much I'm charging for them. It's the expenses to acquire the materials. My jewelry necklaces were $45. My rings were $2. My bracelets were $450, and my keychains were $6. The jewelry total for material was $67.50. The journals, sketchbooks, leather, all was $148, giving me a total expense of materials for $250.50. The total for expenses, booth plus materials, was $245.50. I made that day $1,089 in 4 hours. I have now since tried to get into every single market that they allow you to get into over there. So I profited for $943.50. This was my best market, I believe, of the month. All right, so then I took a week off to make products because I really needed to make some products, and then I also went out to DC. I had about 8 to 9 days to make products, which I totally need those. I'm starting to see that I should take a week off in the middle of the month so I can make products. So then February 25th, I went back to the Yorktown area, and it was a rainy day. So when rain comes, people typically don't shop, but they actually ended up putting us into the parking garage, which I was very skeptical about. But boy, was I wrong, because we did well. On a rainy day, this was February 25th, I spent $95 on the journals, $18 on the necklaces, $15 on the keychains, and $1 for the rings. And that gave me a total of $129 for expenses for materials. The booth fee, again, was only $30. Y'all, they're only charging $30 to be on the beach. Like, usually when you're at the beach, they're charging you like $400. I ended up making $650 at that event in 4 hours on a rainy day, and my profit was $491, which is decent, I guess. That's pretty decent. And then my worst market of the month was February 26th. I went to Richmond again for this one. It was a 4 or 5 hour market. It was 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I believe, or 4 o'clock, I forget. And the booth fee was $60. It was at a brewery. Here's what I've learned about breweries. I usually make about $300, $350 at breweries during summer. This is February. Going into a brewery is not a good idea because most people do not want to be outside in the cold drinking. So that was my mistake. I just wanted to fill my calendar up with another event, and I made profit. It just wasn't worth it for me. So my expenses was $34.70 for all types of journals. So regular journal, leather journal, and sketchbooks. My jewelry cost me $13.40. The booth fee was $60. Merchandise in all was $48.10. So I didn't spend a lot, but that also means I didn't make a lot. I ended up making only $267 at that event. It was about 4 or 5 hours. Took me an hour to get there. And I profit $158.90. That was my slowest market. There was no one there. I'm surprised I made $267, to be honest. So I will try to do a brewery again in the summer, but right now while it's cold, I'm not going to touch any breweries. Before I get into the final numbers, I wanted to show you guys, if you're new to this channel and you're trying to think about doing pop-ups, you're trying to think about making products, I am not a creative person. I mean, I am, but I was never good at art. This is just something that I taught myself. I just became really interested in it, and it just kind of, out of necessity, I guess, or out of interest, I was able to create something. So the new leather collection. So we have my swivel journals. This is a sketchbook. So if you open it, I put antique maps on the inside, and then like that. Everything is going to be custom made. So they're on my website, but they're all custom made. So if you choose this design and you choose this leather format, then I'm going to make it by hand. This is leather. Same leather skin. I made this one. So this is just like what some of my stuff looks like when I'm like actually selling. This is the one that doesn't have a latch. It's just a little tab. I just learned how to make these tabs as well. Antique map on the inside and a regular writer's journal, refillable journal. So you just unscrew these and put your own paper in there. This is blue leather purses. So these are both leather purses. This is the green leather. This is the tan leather that was in the same skin as this journal. And I'm going to engrave these to have like maps on them. I make purses as well now, so that's what I'm working with. That is what people are seeing. I don't have any jewelry on me to show you guys, but maybe I'll do some close-ups for you so you can see what type of jewelry that I make. So that brings me to the total, right? So in February, my total expenses for materials, so getting the leather, getting the paper, getting the latches, my total was $647.60. My total in booth fees was $870 because of that one big one. And so my total expenses in all was $1,517.60, which it does sound like a lot, but it's small business totals, you guys. You don't have to go to those events that are $760. You don't have to. And you may make things that are smaller than mine that don't cost as much to acquire the materials for. My total gross was $3,433. Now that I'm starting to make purses, I am definitely going to say my total gross and net profit is going to go up extremely high because I'm going to be selling those purses for at least $65 to $70 because they are literally handmade. My thumbs hurt from making them. They take me hours to do. Like, this is the weaving method of it. Like, these are legit. These are legit. I literally make these from scratch. So I can sell them for more. And they're worth more because they take a long time. So subtract all of that from what I just told you. My net profit was $2,015.40. Again, this is way more money than I made when I was working at TJ Maxx 5-6 years ago. Almost 7 years ago. Well, no, 5 years ago. So I'm extremely proud of what I can do, what I've been able to do. So let me know, do you guys like to see this monthly, to see my journey of what you can do and what I have done, kind of showing you the way of doing all of this. And I mean, let me know down below. I know a lot of you guys were really interested on like the expenses of what I was doing and how much money I was making and what a business can make. I'm so proud that I actually ended up with $2,000 for the month, and I was only working weekends. So out of like the $2,000, right, I worked. So of course I have to sit down and make the stuff at home, but I'm at home watching TV. I don't really consider it work. It's really, really fun. But actually going out and selling the items, I worked 1, 2, 3, 4. I worked 6 days in February for $2,000. I think this is a pretty good side hustle. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know if you want to see March's update. I have been writing everything down. Follow my TikTok for my for this business journey, or you can follow my TikTok for everything encompassing like tiny houses, YouTube and all of that and random stuff, and then my Instagram if you want to. And of course, subscribe. So I will talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoy. Let me know down below, do you do pop-up markets? What do you make? Like, what do you like make? Do you make purses? Do you sew? Do you make clothes? Let me know what you make down below and how well you're doing so far. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.